What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I don't know how, but somehow we made it to the end of the week. Somehow we made it here. I feel like this week flew. I'm not. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like this week just flew by. We consistently just all-time highs every single candle because why not? That's just what we do. Let me get this zoomed in a little bit. I mean, the gap up is pretty phenomenal on SPY. Gapping to all-time highs. Uh, the only thing I could love more, the only thing that I could love more than a nice big gap up is all you guys showing up each and every day. We got Alan House. Good morning to Albert. We got Art, Bill, David. Good morning to D. We got George. Good morning, Julie, Jacob, we got Jay in the house. Good morning to Joe, Kevin, Stone, rocking with us. Good morning to Matthew, Miguel. All my peeps out in YouTube land. We got Leonard Daniel. We got Insights Jose. Good morning to Real Virtual Demand. All my lurkers in our background. That's okay. I still love you. Just hit that like and subscribe button in YouTube land. We got Matthew going, Mara. Yeah, we left a little bit on the table for Mara yesterday, but that's okay. We'll take a look at that one today again, see if there's another play. But SPY, again, the trend is bullish. Be careful on this one. I mean, we do have 500 right in front of us. That's a big psychological number. We got the 2-day weekend coming up. We got everybody that went long on almost any, I mean, not individual stocks per se, but a lot of them have already been hitting all-time highs. SPY entire ETF is jumping to all-time highs with a 500 big psychological hold number, and this is a good retest gap. So as much as I really don't want to play fades, I think playing a fade today, or at least being a little patient at open, I think would be the way to go for the SPY at least. There's zero resistance above us, except for maybe we start getting this. We got to start thinking deep on psychological levels. Q, same things. Q's not as big of a gap up. I mean, still a relatively good gap, but the same thing. I mean, this is another new gap, all-time highs. Probably want to see some kind of pullback. I'd be looking for like 432.91. If we could get it, just some profit taking. Again, just in case something crazy happens over the weekend, that some black swan comes out, someone could lock some profits in today. That could make sense. But otherwise, still bullish. Just got to see a little pullback. TLT still kind of hanging out into this little chop support zone, so nothing too crazy yet. We haven't really broke down, haven't really pushed out higher. Good indecision candle yesterday, so that one's all inside. So probably not too much of a read from there. And then we got Mara. If you guys got some tickers, good morning, John. If you guys got tickers, throw them into the chat. We'll take a look. Yep. Another wow, we left 3 R's on the this is the for the people in YouTube land that were not with us yesterday. This was the trade we took on Mari yesterday. We essentially played this little pullback, this little S curve. We had stops down there. We were able to bring our stops up higher, and we had a 3R target up here, which was a good target. I mean, we made a lot of money on it, but which means that we finally broke through. Then we kind of came back. We retested that perfectly, and we just took off for what would have been another 3Rs. And then, again, if technology and selling stocks wasn't so easy, we might have stayed in that one for another little day. But yeah, another pretty good gap up on Mara today. Again, this one though is a little different than yesterday, Matt. Getting this one open and just run, of course, anything's possible. This one will go without me if it does that. I'm not gonna play it up here. Only because we have some resistance. We're looking at like 25.28. We're looking at 25.85. I'm looking at 26. Still a decent amount of ways away. We are above this little first resistance, which I'd want to say support now is probably about $24 on this thing. But there's a lot of people profitable who took that breakout yesterday, and that did hold overnight because there was some more room on this thing. My next real target on this thing was somewhere around 22.38. I think I even said that pre-market yesterday. So if that was my target and I was okay in a swing and I just had my stops in place just in case something crazy happens, I'd still be in this one. This is gapping way more than pretty much my target would have been. And my first instinct would be selling. And I think playing that fade might be the way to go. But again, just because it's a fade doesn't mean I have to play it short. Yeah, I don't have to play this one short. And there is a big short squeeze on it, a big short float on it. I don't want to mess with that squeeze whatsoever and trying to pile in just so I can get stopped out. So if this one comes back and retests, and I'd start to look around 22.33 zone, somewhere around there, as some type of support on this thing. But crypto's all moving. Let's take a look at Coinbase. Insight Jose DJ, I need help. My man, if Bitcoin hits 49K, I unlock my 100K account. There you go. The question is, will it hit that price target? All right. Insights, Jose. We'll take a look at that in a second. We have Coinbase. Again, it does have a little bit more room to run. My target on this one will be about 146.10. That's a weaker target, but it is one. And then the next one is about 150.16. So there's still some room to the higher side. Again, a little bit of a retest gap. This one though is stronger. I think today. So yesterday my day was Mara over Coinbase. I think today my play would be Coinbase over Mara. This candle did not get broken free from kind of that little support. Today it is. I'd still want to wait for a little pullback. But if we could get this little pullback, I think today I'd rather play Coinbase over Mara for me. So let me put that one a little bit higher on the list. We don't have the luxury of the short squeeze. Come on, TradingView, get up there. Hold on a second. Let me refresh this. Reload site. COIN. Now let's see if it moves up. There we go. Now it's cooperating. Let's look at one more thing. Riot as well. Very, very similar to Mara. So whether you play Riot or Mara, they're both bigger retest gaps. Coinbase as well. So I would still sit out of Coinbase right at the morning ding 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 bell. I would just wait that one out a little bit, see if we get any drop. But today I think Coinbase I like a little bit better than both Riot and Mara. And then let's look at BTC for Insight Jose. He needs what do you need again? You need a 49K to unlock your 100K account. I don't know what you're talking about, but that sounds like a video game you're playing. I like it. The question is, will Bitcoin hit 49K? Yes. Yes. Target acquired. You probably go past 49K. We are obviously at some type of decent resistance right where we're at now. So could we get rejected? Of course. I don't think so though. All of the volume is really below us at this point, so we have good support at 43K. Again, maybe a little bit of chop around here, but I think it's very, very likely, very, very possible for us to not only hit the 49K, but exceed 49K. Looking for probably the next spot into like 50,852. And then after that, we're probably looking for a much bigger move into like 61K. So it does look all upside. It does look very, very bullish. We don't really have that much, even though we have a little bit of resistance kind of where we're at. We don't really have volume on it. I would say this is the last hope for bears, at least for the time being. So if the bears are able to get this thing a little bit higher into about 48,300, then I think we have room to push very, very quickly into it as well. So this is that last hope. Bears are like, come on, don't do it to me. Don't do it. But everything looks bullish on this thing. So yeah, I think you're looking good. I think you're looking good. Let's see. Al wants to take a look at Microsoft MSFT. Did we do it? Yep, new all-time highs on Microsoft. That looks pretty phenomenal. looks pretty phenomenal. Again, where would I throw my target? I don't know. Higher, I guess. So this one would be a good high wave candidate, maybe a pre-market break. Let's see what we're doing pre-market. We got decent volume candle here. I mean, maybe, and we still got 18 minutes till the market opens, but we're looking for like 417, 17 would be probably some kind of entry around there. But I would love to see some kind of pullback, some kind of high wave, maybe retesting 416, 16. Something I could take a break on, but I have 0 targets to the higher side. I just don't know where we go. This is obviously a bullish momentum candle, bullish breakout, great close, 1 day of resting. And again, we're not really playing this candle. We're more so playing this, and that would still give us some kind of a retest back. My VPOCs aren't until 413.44. I don't know if we reach that today. I don't know if that comes in today. But at least a little pullback on this one will be phenomenal. I like it a lot. Cindy says, have I checked Netflix? Which just really tells me Cindy wasn't here since the opening morning hello to everybody. That's what that tells me. Otherwise, she would know I did not cover this one. Let's see. Let me take some lines off my chart. That looks really nice too. Dang. Again, we have gap and go from here. I'm not so concerned with this one. I'm not so concerned with this one. I'm concerned with this one. What would have made this a tad better is that volume. We really didn't have much. But we are taking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 VPOCs, and we're borderline one more. So we can get a little bit higher. My next target is going to be up here. That's also a spot, by the way, we've run into a bunch of times, so that's a lot weaker. My initial target, 572.26. So even with that target, we still get about $5 to the upside, and I do think that's a breakable target. So we could probably even try to go for more, maybe shave a couple shares there, but that looks really nice. I gotta move that higher. Looks good. Coin seems a lot like Mara yesterday. A little bit. Fundamentally, it's a little bit different. One, it is a higher price stock, and two, you do have not as big of a short float. But Coin looks a little bit like Mara yesterday. And again, if Coinbase wants to move, you probably get some sympathy off of Mara and Rye too. But it's just hard for me to buy it up there. Virtual real. I'm dyslexic today. We got real virtual demand. Says Apple and AMD. Not as great on Apple for me in terms of like day trade wise. So I have resistance right above me. That's going to be like 189.12. I've got 188.16. This is inside day candle. The only thing I would say is bullish would be my leaning factor. So I would rather go bullish than bearish on this thing. Again, this does look like capitulation down here with that high volume candle. Breakdown looked awful at open. We hung out in this area. This is also probably from the highs here to the lows here. This is probably about a 618 retracement. Looks like we already hit that. And with this gap up, even though it's a red candle, this is a retest gap, so that's fine. And then this candle stays with inside really this bullish breakout trend. So I would want to go bullish. The question to me, though, of why I say it's probably not as good as maybe some of the other ones I might want to look at open is because we are inside. Risk to reward, we might have like a good stop there, a good entry. Hopefully this one could break. And then targets on that one, at least for the next move, I think gets us to roughly about 191. So we got about $3 to the higher side, roughly. Unless it does something crazy, which I just don't know if we're even gonna break this one. Like I don't have a reason why I absolutely think it should. But I think it's very doable, and I think the direction on this one is probably more bullish. I actually wouldn't mind selling some puts on that one. if the premium's good on it. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I think that might be a. I prefer to like to have sold it here, but just because we've now been shopping for 4 days. Let's see, we got AMD as well. Um, same thing. We're inside this day, and this is the one I'd really want to count on. So nothing, no real edge to this. I would actually like to see a pullback first. I think that gives me a better opportunity. So somewhere down to like 169.78 plus the entire market is a retest gap. So probably likely that we could get that little pullback first. Pretty clear double top, but a lot of just sideways chop the last 2-3 days. So not a lot of sentiment one way or the other on AMD. Leader says, hello, congrats on more. Do you use 1% of your R or more because you are the best trader in the planet? Well, I don't know if I could agree with that whole statement for sure, but my R is slightly under 1%, slightly under 1% of my account. Yep. How would you day trade coin? For coin, I still want to see that pullback. So this is technically a retest gap. My first spot, and I wouldn't throw a blank order out there, but probably about 141.66. I want to see how we look to hold that spot. If we start breaking that spot, then we might get a little bit of a deeper retest into either 135.99 or into probably 134. That would get me a much better risk to reward. Even something like that, I wouldn't mind throwing some kind of just catch something lower down there. But I want to see how this one interacts. So I would like, because again, I might get my next target at 150. It's $8 to the higher side. That's a lot of room. We can make a lot of money on that. But it's also smack in the middle of this move or this 135 and then this 150. So I would like to see this one pull back. I just don't know how that little support's going to hang out. Again, it does look pretty bullish to me, but going off that candle, we might get some selling. And if that's enough to take us past that 140, I said 141.66, but maybe like 141.43, something like that. But if we can start breaking some of those zones, then okay, I'm going to be a little bit more patient. Just wait until the right opportunity. And then I think long is the direction on that one. Square. Not bad. My immediate target on Square is 69.87. So if I think I can get there, that gives me $1 move. That's making money. It might not be enough. I have to be under the assumption that that target can break for me to get really good risk reward. So with this gap up, this was a retest gap. It does look bullish. Does look like we're about to break. Question is for a day trade. Well, we did run into that once. We kind of fell right through it. We are bullish in this trend. I think we can break that. Then the next target becomes 73.45. If that's my target, I like this trade a lot. I'm going to move this one up a little bit higher. I think that is a breakable target. Again, with the market gapping up and it's a retest gap for the market, though, is that going to just kind of keep everything down for a little bit? I like the upside. I like the upside potential, at least for a swing trade on this one, for sure. LAM, and then we got Google as well. LAM. Is this like a wild gap somewhere, or I don't know? Yeah. So I'm not getting any pre-market numbers on this one, so I'm assuming it's around the close. It's 92 cents. So for me, not day tradable. It's got good momentum to the higher side. If you are playing this one or you're in this one, you're looking for about a $1.02. I don't know really too much about the company, so I don't even know what they do. Their earnings looks like non-existent, so I don't know what that's about. Wrong lamb. What's the what's the correct one? This is the only thing I got right here. It's not. Is it crypto? Mm, according to TradingView, LAM is this. So let me know if there's a different ticker in crypto for it. Let me see. IRCX. Yeah, you guys are making things up now. Oh, LRCX. Okay. Let's see this one. Oh, Lam Research. Okay. This one I know. This one I know. Lam Research. Is this news we're gapping on? Like you guys are just throwing some random letters out there and be like, let's get him today. It's Friday. He's got it coming. Lam Research keeps quarterly dividend at $2 per share payable. So they got confirmed share divvies or confirmed divvies. That looks decent. It's still a retest gap from yesterday. I like where we're pivoting to. I'd see if this one wants to fade down into roughly probably 869.19, and that gives you a decent shot to the bullish side of things. But pretty nice gap. Obviously, the Bulls got it up here at one point, 899.70 ish, 900, whatever it is. They were not able to hold it. That caused that pullback. It definitely still looks like it's got bullish momentum in this thing, but for a day trade purpose, be careful at opens. See if we can get a little pullback first. Probably into I would say that VPOC is that's at least where I would be looking for. We did not look at EXPE or pins yet. There was one more. Google Googs gapping up this morning, fade and then go bullish. Yeah, I would get on board with that one. So this is a retest gap plus we're also gapping right into VPOC right here. I've got one more VPOC slightly above me, so 148.66. So yeah, I would see if we can get a little pullback. So where's the question? Maybe we stop out at like not stop out, but maybe we kind of pull back into like 147.67. I think that would be an interesting spot. If we get a deeper sell off, meaning that the market is really kind of pulling back harder, look for like 147.14, but somewhere in that zone. But yeah, bullish, especially since we're all above this thing. This is a high volume after earnings. We now had two closes above it. So bullish to me is the direction on Google. I would love longer term to see us come back down to like a 145.37. I'm sure eventually that happens. Technically, this little wick retested that spot, so we don't necessarily have to. But yeah, a little pullback on that one. Be patient on the bull side of things that open. At least that's my plan. And whether it just we open and we skyrocket higher on everything, well, then DJ just has to trade on Monday, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, these guys got killed actually on decent earnings, I think. Yep. So they beat to the upside, 4 cents earnings per share, and then they did beat with 13 million on revenue. My guess, I'm not even sure why the dip on this one. I think it was a outlook was not so good. Expedia Group price target maintained with $130 from Wedbush. That's still $3 lower than here. This is a so yeah. If you want to do something a little different than the market, let's put on our bear hats for a second. Good gap and go here. I would love to see a little bit of a bounce on this thing first into 134.54. And then my targets on this thing would be about 130. So that would give me about $4 to the downside. We're clearing all of that. What was support, what was resistance, now going to be resistance again. So the higher we get into this zone, maybe even to like 135.19, something in there. I don't think there's a huge retest. And probably has some pressure. It's down a lot, so it doesn't have to go down that much further. It could just kind of hang out here during the day. We can see a high wave candle at the end of the day as well. But if we could get some kind of bounce at open, we'll throw this one on the list too, just to give us a little bit bear sentiment. I don't think I'd want to go bullish on this one though. Not today. Not ever. Is Expedia the company? Is it the one with this guy from Star Trek? Is it them? Let's see. What was the other one? Pins. Pin interest. A little bit of a wild day they had on earnings yesterday. Yeah, they got clobbered on earnings. Then they came out. They said they have a deal with Google or something like that, and partnership. They skyrocketed back higher than where they started to even close at, and then we kind of just gave it all back. This one might be interesting. This one might get choppy. I don't know. The one thing I could say is you are at a level of support. This is a retest gap from yesterday. Even this candle's green, but that was a gap down. That was a retest. I would say that's more negative sentiment than anything. I would this one I actually wouldn't mind trying to play the fade on. I don't know where we go on in terms of targets, but I like that support a lot. And then I'd be looking for at least target into like 38.78 on pins, $37 stock. We can make a pretty decent setup. And then a stretch target for me would be about 39, 37, something like that. Yeah, William Shatner. That's the guy's name. Yeah, that's him. He's like 200 years old now, I think. Is he still alive? And then they had the girl from Big Bang Theory, I think, which was, I guess, his replacement at some point. LUV and DAL. Oh, that's Priceline. Yeah, that's Priceline. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's a kayak one where I don't know what kayaks have to do with traveling. I guess you travel to places with kayaks. Not sure. This one I look for more continuation. Really, really, really good close. Nice little move up higher. That's a lot of buying yesterday on LUV, but I think this is buy the dip. I don't know if we get a dip today, but see if we get a little pullback into like 32.19. See how that wants to react from there. It's a big move, and there's a lot of people profitable. DAL price line negotiator. This one might be close to one of my favorites today too. Very close, if not, it's like the top three, I think, for Delta. See if we get this pullback right into this 40.37. That's right around here is probably where I want to buy this thing up. Plenty of room to the higher side, 42.17. All my people out in YouTube land, you guys are absolutely incredible. Make sure you guys hit that like and